Hello, all. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Ryan Anderson. I'm the outreach manager here with Kendall at Home. With me today, also from the Kendall at Home side, is Sue Boykin. She is the marketing and events coordinator, and she'll be handling the behind the scenes stuff with Zoom and everything. There's Sue. She'll be handling the behind the scenes for everything for us today regarding Zoom and any technical issues you may have. Just some housekeeping items ahead of time. Up in the top right-hand corner, if you would like to change the view, if you would like to see more of the students or more of the piece itself and the video, please feel free to change things up there to best accommodate you. If you would like, throughout the program, you may post anything in the Q&A or the chat. Any questions that you might have about the pieces or the Oberlin Conservatory of Music, as you go along, and we'll answer them as best appropriate, maybe in between the pieces and maybe some at the end as well. And then in addition, please feel free to send anything along, message Sue or I, if you have any technical difficulties throughout the programming. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce Dana here, and from the Oberlin Conservatory, and she's going to take it away.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're really delighted to be here. My name is Dana Jessen. I am the Director of Professional Development at the Oberlin Conservatory. I'm also an Associate Professor of Contemporary Music and Improvisation. And I'm delighted that we have this partnership with Kendall at Home. Some of you may have attended any of the events last year. We had our Sonny Rollins Ensemble, that was a jazz ensemble that performed. And we also had a lovely string quartet that did an event last year. And this year, for today's event, I'm personally very excited about this. I'm a bassoonist myself, and so this ensemble is really exciting for me. This is a woodwind quintet, an Oberlin woodwind quintet that will be presenting a really beautiful program for you. And I am going to let them take it away and talk more about themselves and their music and what they'll present for you today. So I think I'll hand it over to Ben.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Smith, and I play the flute. I'm in my second year here at Oberlin, where I major in flute performance and am minoring in Korean. I'm also from Monroe, Georgia, and I'm really excited to be sharing this music with you all.
Hello. Excuse me. My name is Jonathan. I play the oboe. That's my major here at Oberlin. I'm a third year student, and I'm originally from just outside of Boston.
Hi, my name is Katie. I am a clarinetist here at Oberlin, and that is my major. I am currently a third year, and I'm from New York.
Hi everyone, my name is Oved. I am a senior here at Oberlin. I play the French horn, and I am from Worcester, Massachusetts, but now reside in Central Florida.
Hello, my name is AJ. I am a bassoonist. That's my major here in bassoon performance, and I am currently a third year, so a junior, and I am from Buffalo, New York. So, not something I wanted to talk about now a little bit is the quintet and kind of the what makes a wind quintet special. I'm not sure how many of you watching are familiar with the wind quintet, but some of the reasons that composers are drawn to writing for this ensemble is the vast array of colors that this ensemble, like this different instrumentation, can provide for us. Like for instance, in a string quartet, all the instruments kind of produce the same sound. They have the same mechanism for having the sound come out of the instrument, but a quintet is totally different. I mean, the bassoon is much different than the flute, for example. So I feel that these composers really showcased some of those different colors well, and I hope you all enjoy this pretty unique instrument group. So now, Ben, would you like to introduce the tapping?
Yes. So the first piece that you'll be hearing today is the Wind Quintet in G minor by Paul Taffanel. And Paul Taffanel is a French composer who studied flute and composition at the Paris Conservatory. The quintet that he wrote is in 3 movements, The first is titled Allegro and is more upbeat and has a lot of forward motion. The second is entitled Andante and has a really beautiful horn solo that is kind of echoed throughout the other instruments as the movement progresses. And the final movement is the finale. It's titled Vivace and is kind of like a tarantella. So I hope you enjoy.
Bravo. Thank you.
All right. The next piece that will be played is Samuel Barber's Summer Music. It's a single movement piece. It's about 10 minutes long. And Samuel Barber, he was an American composer. He was born in 1910. And he studied at the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia. And he studied piano, composing, singing, and conducting, which is a lot. And he's very important to oboists because he always gives us the best melodies. Certainly in summer music and in his violin concerto and his piano concerto and his first symphony, the oboe is heavily featured with long, extensive, slow solos. And the oboe solo in summer music, I imagine as sort of like the end of the day. It was a nice hot day, but now it's kind of cold and it's starting to rain and it's a little bit lonely and drizzly and just kind of gloomy. So that's what I think of the oboe solo being. But then there are a lot of other themes and other instruments that sort of weave in and create new characters as the piece goes on, and it's a really beautiful piece. So that's summer music. I'm now going to hand it off to Katie to talk about Valerie Coleman's Zagan, which we'll be playing last.
The last piece is Zagan by Valerie Coleman. Valerie Coleman is an outstanding flutist, and she's one of the founding members of the Amani Winds, which is an Oberlin founded wind quintet. And they've been nominated for Grammys, and they're always doing tours, and they're an amazing group. And Valerie Coleman wrote this piece for the group. So that's Zagan.
All right, I will share now summer music and Zagan. Bravo! That was so incredible. That last piece, wow. It's it has so much virtuosic playing in it and so much virtuosic writing. I loved it so much. I want to invite anyone who's watching just to remind you that you are more than welcome to ask any questions in the chat in the last few minutes that we have here. But I'd actually love to just start off with a couple of questions myself. One is a really specific bassoon question, which is, AJ, what was that thing that you were putting in the bell of your bassoon? Can you explain that?
Yes, that is a low A extension tube. Basically, it's like this plastic like tubing that extends the length of the bassoon so that it can sound a low A. Typically, our lowest note is a low B flat. So all those low notes you were hearing when I was playing with the oboe, or just like in general throughout that last section, those were all because of that extender that I have, which is, I really love it. It's so fun. I wish more pieces had it. It's really fun to just honk out on a low A. It's really beefy. So yeah.
That's great. Yeah, and sorry, I'm going to put my bassoon hat on for a minute too, because for people who don't know, the bassoon is ultimately like this giant 9-foot tube, right? That's sort of folded in half, right? And so, AJ, that extension that you put in, I feel like Valerie Coleman is really making use of the full range and full extent of the instrument that she can, and I felt that there, but I also felt that with all of the writing in that piece. That was just particularly beautiful and striking. I'm curious to know if just this is for anyone of the quintet to answer. I know all of you play in a number of different settings, and you know, in orchestra, you play in solo settings and other chamber settings, and I'm curious to hear from you. How is playing in this quintet different from some of the other ensembles that you play with? For instance, I know some of you are going off to play an orchestra in another 20 minutes or something, and I'm curious, how is your playing in orchestra different than playing together as a woodwind quintet?
I can answer that. Yeah, so I mean, kind of how what AJ was saying in the beginning of this, how the wind quintet is made up of, five very distinct sounds and very different instruments. And, the horn being the only brass instrument of them, it's so easy. And, brass instruments, we can play it super loud, but, in a wind quintet, um, at least for me, it's taught me how to play quieter, obviously, and like learn how to blend within these different sounds. Um, and then also in terms of a chamber setting, in orchestra, you're playing with 90 other players, and you're kind of relying on the conductor, one person, to keep you guys all together. And in a small ensemble, we don't have a conductor, so we're all really relying on each other, always looking around, always listening, and just taking cues. We have to like go when we rehearse. We have to write in our parts like where we're looking, what we should be listening for, and so it's like those small attention to details that you don't really do in something like a big orchestra, which is really fun and really a nice skill to have.
Yeah, I'm curious also how long you've been a quintet, how long you've played together, and what you might have on the horizon. I know it sounded like this you made this recording earlier this year, and I'd be curious to hear what other things you're working on or what other activities or events you have coming up.
Yeah, so we've been working together since the fall of 2021. So for about 2 semesters now, which really like isn't that long for a wind quintet in terms of like some of the professional groups that are playing. And we had a lot of fun. I mean, throughout like this year, we have been like competing in some competitions, and that's what that recording was for. Actually, that was for a competition called Fish Off, which is a really big and competitive competition, and like it just really helped us play together better. I don't know, putting ourselves through that ringer kind of has like really taught us to listen to each other. We know each other's tendencies a lot more now. So I think our goals moving forward is we're planning on putting on a little recital at the end of the year, kind of just to celebrate the quintet and, work towards something for the end of the year. And then after that, I mean, we're not totally sure yet, but we definitely plan to stick together, I think, and play throughout the next semester. I'm not sure if anybody else wants to chime in.
Yeah, so that the recordings that were just played, they're actually from a while ago. I think January maybe, which it's weird to say, but that was still so early on in our group. And like it's actually interesting for us to listen back and hear these recordings because I know that we're all thinking like, oh wow, they're good, but we can do it even better now. We've grown a lot. And like AJ said, we are gonna do a recital at the end of May, and take it from there, I guess. We'll see.
For your recital in May, are you planning to play any of the same rep that we just heard? Or are you going to play some new stuff? And if so, like what? Uh, can you give us a sense of like the type of music that you're showcasing in May?
Yeah, so we're actually planning to do a whole new program. Some of the pieces that we have locked in are the Elliott Carter Quintet, which is a really fun modern quintet, contemporary kind of writing. It's super tricky for the ensemble, but it's honestly a lot of fun to put together. It's like a puzzle. You're trying to find out which piece goes where, who has the melody, all this. Um, and then there are some other pieces that we're thinking about playing. One is by William Grant Still, known as Miniatures. It's a great piece. It's a collection of some like folk melodies and different kind of melodies in that nature. It's an American composer and like absolutely terrific. It's a very, very beautiful piece. And then another piece that we have on the horizon is an arrangement of Le Tombeau for wind quintet plus harp, which is going to be super fun. And I'm not sure if any of you are familiar, but with the composer Ligeti, but we're also planning on doing his quintet, but as a dectet with another quintet at Oberlin. So that'll be kind of a fun little mashup with some friends. And it's should be a really fun program. We're really excited to start putting it together.
Wow, wait, so Liggity the Bagatelles, but in like a 10-person ensemble. Whoa, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really cool. I think
Okay.
Oberlin performed it last year in one of the ensembles as like one of the COVID
Oh, okay.
recordings that they did, and we kind of want to steal it because it's so interesting. I can't. It must be so weird with 10 people, but it should be really, really fun.
That's exciting. Wow. Um, well, I want to check to see. We have only one question, which is how do you plan to utilize your talent post graduation? I feel like that's kind of a high pressure question to ask some of you who I don't know if you know exactly what you want to do after graduation. If you do, please feel free to chime in.
Yeah, to kind of answer it kind of quickly, I'm the only senior in the group, I'm graduating this semester, but I'll probably be sticking around the next year just on campus just to be able to play with these guys again. I know AJ, Katie, Jonathan are all juniors, so they have one more year to go. And Ben is our only sophomore. So he has a couple more years to think about that. I don't know how much thinking he's done about that.
Well, that's really thank you all. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks to everyone in the ensemble so much for your generosity and for sharing your incredible music and your incredible performances. I am personally very excited to attend your concert in May. It sounds really awesome, and um, I thank you so much for sharing some insight with all of us about you and your music and how you go about making music here at Oberlin. So I'm mindful of the time that it's just noon. So I think we'll probably wrap this up.
Yeah, so thank you all for sharing. I mean, as you mentioned, like starting everything just 2 semesters ago altogether, like, and as Katie said, some of the recordings were from January. I would have never guessed that because it sounded to mesh well, and maybe that's just untuned ears and things like that, but still a fantastic job, and thank you guys so much. Someone had just actually asked about the recital in May. Do you mind sharing a few details about that? Do you know date, time, location, admission, stuff like that?
So we haven't locked down a date yet, but it'll most likely be in the Kulas Recital Hall, and we can always share that information once we figure everything out.
Sounds great. But yeah, absolutely. Anyone in the Oberlin area or willing to drive into the Oberlin area, highly recommend attending that recital there. Just a few housekeeping items before we move on. Upcoming events we have here with Kendal at Home. Next Wednesday, May 4th. It's already May. It's hard to believe there. I'm sure for students, final season, especially for a senior too, it's surreal there. But next Wednesday, May 4th at 1 p.m., we have our second act series. That's going to be with member Richard Abler out of Columbus. He's a train enthusiast, and he has a model railroad which spans everywhere from his basement to his garden area. He's a founding member of the Columbus Garden Railway Society. And so he's going to take an in-depth look at that for us, which is going to be really cool there. Friday, May 6th at 11 a.m., we're going to have a coffee hour series, a day in the life of a zookeeper. And that's going to be with the Cincinnati Zoo with zookeeper Mark Tuiz, who's actually the brother-in-law for one of our care coordinators, Stephanie, from the Cincinnati area. He works in the Africa exhibit there, so he's going to take a behind-the-scenes look and even give a close-up meet and greet with the world-famous hippo Fiona. So that would be a very exciting thing there. And then for anyone who is a prospect, potential, looking to learn more about Kendal at Home, we have a virtual seminar upcoming on Wednesday, May 11th. That's actually going to be an evening seminar at 6 p.m. And that's for any prospective members or loved ones. So if you have any neighbors, friends, family, anyone who you think might be interested in learning more about Kendal at Home, please feel free to let them know on that. As always, all these events are open to everyone in the public. Please feel free to send to any friends or family you might think are interested in any of these events. And we always do thank the Friends Foundation for the Aging for helping us to put on these programs for us. But Dana, all, thank you so much for this program today. It was very amazing to listen to. You all are so very, very talented. And we look forward to potentially having you again in the future.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.